Understanding Pennsylvania, Chapter 1, Lesson 3, Water Forms of Pennsylvania. Focus questions are, number 1, what are the names of our major river systems and tributaries? Number 2, how were many of our natural lakes and wetlands formed? Number 3, what are the major purposes of our system of reservoirs? Number 4, why are our water forms so important to us? River systems and tributaries. Pennsylvania is very fortunate to have an abundant fresh water supply. There are more than 45,000 miles of rivers and tributaries draining our land. In addition, we have many natural and human-made lakes in which to store our water supply. As you read, look at the map on the next page to help you locate our water forms. Pennsylvania has 3 major river systems flowing through the state. The largest river system is the Susquehanna River. Tributaries that flow into this river drain 46% of our state's land. The source of the Susquehanna River begins in southeastern New York State. The river flows through our entire state. Its major tributaries are the West Branch and Juniata rivers. These rivers serve as a watershed or drainage basin for central Pennsylvania. A watershed is an area or region from which flowing water drains into creeks and streams. These water forms flow into larger rivers. Look at the map on the next page to trace the Susquehanna River to its mouth. Into what body of water does the Susquehanna empty? Our second largest river system is the Ohio River in western Pennsylvania. Tributaries that flow into this river drain 33% of our state's land. 2 major rivers, the Allegheny and Monongahela, meet at Pittsburgh, where the Ohio River begins. The Beaver River is a major tributary of the Ohio. The Allegheny River's source is located in northern Pennsylvania. The river proceeds north through southwestern New York. It then returns to Pennsylvania to flow southward towards Pittsburgh. The Clarion and Comaw rivers, along with many smaller creeks, flow into the Allegheny. In the southwest part of our state, the Monongahela River begins in West Virginia. The river flows northward towards Pittsburgh. The Youghiogheny River, which starts in Maryland, and its many creeks flow into the Monongahela about 15 miles from Pittsburgh. Use a map of the United States to trace the route of the Ohio River. It has been estimated that 1/3 of the water flowing into the Gulf of Mexico comes from the Ohio River system. The third major river system is the Delaware River. This river also begins in southeastern New York and drains 14% of our state. It forms a natural border between New Jersey and Pennsylvania. 2 major tributaries are the Lehigh and Schuylkill rivers. Philadelphia is a major deep water port located along the Delaware River. The Delaware River water gap presents a dramatic geographic feature. At this location, the Delaware River has carved an opening through the Appalachian Mountains, a process that continues today. Once again, use the map on this page to trace the river to the body of water into which it empties. Our 3 largest river systems have been very important resources in the development of our state. They supply residents with drinking water. They supply water for cooling nuclear reactors that produce electricity. Throughout time, people have used these waterways as transportation routes. Ships and barges have carried huge amounts of freight, such as coal and steel. The Delaware, Monongahela, and Ohio rivers are especially well known for shipping goods. One exception, however, is the Susquehanna River. It is too shallow to allow shipping of products. Lakes and wetlands. There are many small lakes in Pennsylvania. Most of our natural lakes were created by glacial forces. Thousands of years ago, glaciers covered the northern parts of our state. As the glaciers slowly melted and withdrew, they dug holes into the landscape, which became filled with water. Our largest natural lake, located totally within Pennsylvania, is Conya Lake in Crawford County. One notable exception to the small lakes of our state is Lake Erie, which borders Pennsylvania to the northwest, formed by glacial action. This lake is the fourth largest in the United States. The entire Great Lakes system was created by glacial forces. There is another important part of our environment that we do not think much about. People who are helping to clean up our environment are also asking us to save our wetlands. A wetland is a low land area such as a marshy or swampy place that holds moisture. Wetlands help prevent flooding, clean our water supply, and provide excellent food and shelter for wildlife. Many of the nearly 200,000 acres of wetlands are located in the northwest and northeast parts of our state that were once covered by glaciers. However, wetlands can be found all over our state. The John Hines National Wildlife Refuge is located 1 mile from the Philadelphia International Airport. Reservoirs and dams. It is interesting to see how humans have changed the landscape over time. One way to change the landscape is for people to build reservoirs. Many reservoirs have been built in Pennsylvania, mainly to store our fresh water supply. Reservoirs and dams also help to keep our water flowing at a steady pace during drier times. During times of heavy precipitation, they help to prevent flooding of our rivers. Reservoirs and other water forms provide Pennsylvanians and tourists with many recreational activities such as fishing, boating, swimming, and water skiing. Some dams are used to provide people with electricity. The force of water falling over a dam is used to turn a turbine or engine at a power plant. This action creates electricity. This kind of electricity is known as hydroelectric power. 1% of Pennsylvania's electric power is produced this way. Reservoirs also can be referred to as lakes or dams. Some of our larger reservoirs are Pymatuming Reservoir, Lake Wallenpaupack, Raystown Lake, Ugiogany River Lake, Shamokin Dam, Allegheny Reservoir, and Tioga Hammond Lakes. Raystown Lake is the largest human-made lake totally within Pennsylvania's borders.